If you've never been on a Carnival cruise ship before, this video is going to show you everything that you need to know about the Carnival HUB app. Let's get into it. The HUB app is your command center for everything. You can check out activities, you can see what entertainment is happening, you can look at all the different restaurants, look at all the menus, you can see all the dining reservations, you can check out your account status, and lots more. So the HUB app is free to download. Also, you do not need to purchase the Wi-Fi package. I will talk about this a little bit more later, so stay tuned for that. What the HUB app will not do, it will not do voice calls, it will not do texting, it will not do any of that. It also will not give you internet access. But again, stay tuned because I will talk more about that in a bit. What to do before sailing? Okay, this is very important. You want to make sure that you download the HUB app. So go to the App Store and you are going to look for the HUB app. It looks like this little icon here. So make sure you do that. For the next step, that is number 3, Embarkation Day Essentials. When you first get on the ship, you want to connect to the ship's Wi-Fi. Again, you do not need to pay for this. What this means is that you are just connecting to the ship's Wi-Fi network. So go to Wi-Fi and you're gonna look for this. It'll say Carnival Wi-Fi and then the ship's name. So I'm on the Panorama right now, so I'm gonna connect to Carnival Wi-Fi Panorama. And then once you do this, you will be able to access the Carnival HUB app. Now, real quick, you can use the Carnival HUB app while you are on land. It's gonna switch over and it's actually a different system. It's different things when you get on it. Okay, so you can see here, use the HUB app for free at Carnival Panorama. So I'm gonna click on that and it says, you're connected, you're all set. Okay, so I'm gonna close that and then I'm gonna open the HUB app. Now, once you are connected, now what you can do is you can look at activity. You can see what's happening. You can look at dining. A couple things is that look at what's open, because on Embarkation Day, there are some things that you can only do, you can only dine at on Embarkation Day. So check those out on the HUB app. You can also see things like where the muster station is and start looking at dining plans. Number 4, the features that you will use most on board. So there is a daily schedule. So if you go to what's happening, you can look through and you can see everything that's happening that day. And you can see some of these hearts. That is where you can say, oh, I want to do this. So for example, the champagne art auction, that is coming up in about an hour. If I put a heart next to it, I will get a notification on about 10 minutes before it happens just to remind me that's happening. And what you can also do is you can go to My Planner and you can see all of the things that you've hearted, so you can just kind of know what your day looks like in advance. One other thing that I love to do in advance if you're a planner is go to Food and Drinks and you can see all of the restaurants that are available. I'll talk about checking in later. You can see all the restaurants that are available and you can look at what food options there are, right? So you can see here, this is the Your Time Dining restaurant. I click on main menu. Tonight is fancy night, it's elegant night. So I can look at the entire menu and I can see what's happening, so I can pick out everything that I want to eat beforehand. The other cool thing is if you swipe and you can go to Tuesday, that's tomorrow, I can now go and I can look at the food of what's happening tomorrow. So let's see, so I go down, I can see, oops, where is it? I can now see the restaurant, Your Time Dining view menu, and I can see the appetizers. I can see everything that they have on the menu, so I can figure out what I want to eat and where. Oftentimes I will use this to figure out if I want to do specialty dining and which nights. The other thing that they just started doing at Carnival is something called Express Time Dining. So for Express Your Time Dining, this is a quick where you can get in and out from the time you sit down. It takes about 45 minutes, maybe an hour. This is great, especially if you want to go see shows or comedy, something like that, and you've kind of figured out, and again, this is why using the HUB app is so great. You can see what you want to do and when, and to kind of figure out what you're going to do and when you're going to do all these activities. Okay, now as you are looking at all the restaurants, one of the things that you want to be aware of and know about is checking in. Who, why, what, when, and where of that. So first of all, it is definitely recommended for you to check in using the HUB app. Now, of course, some people say you don't need to. Right. You do not need to check in. However, it's recommended, and it's helpful not only for you, but also for the crew, for the staff. And here's why. So that is because either way, you get checked in. Yes, you can walk all the way down to the anytime. Oh, sorry. You only need to check in if you have your time dining. If you have set time dining, you always go at the same time. You do not need to check in. However, if you want to go to breakfast or C-Day brunch, you will need to check in. Now again, the reason you check in is this. First of all, it's easy. You come in and then you can go, so let's see, for C-Day brunch, I actually can't check in right now because I already checked in, but you can go check in, and you can check in from anywhere, and you will get notified when your table is ready. So this means you can hang out in your cabin. You don't have to walk all the way down there. Now, I will say this is, if you want to, you can definitely walk all the way down to the main dining restaurant. You can ask the table host to check in for you. You still get checked in anyway. They do that, and then you need to wait around even more because now you're checked in when you could have checked yourself in earlier. Now, one thing about checking in is that you can check in all the people that you are friends with. So if you go into contacts, you can add people who are in your group. You can find people, so you do this by going to contacts and then you search, I guess, by name. And then once you do that, you will see them when you go to check in, and you can check in up to, I think it's 6 people. If you've got a party, 6, maybe 8. If you've got a party bigger than that, then you will need to go talk to the restaurant host to be able to check in bigger parties for that. When? You will get, so again, once you get checked in, you will get notified on the Hub app, 1, that you've checked in, but 2, when your table's ready. This is great. So if you want to go chill up at the casino, somewhere else, at a bar, you can wait, and then you will get notified when your table is ready. The other thing is that it will tell you where to go. So a lot of these ships have 2-story or decks. The main dining room is on 2 different decks. So it'll tell you which deck to go to. It might be deck 3, it might be deck 4. So this just makes it easier so you know where to go. It'll also tell you your table number. So show the Hub app to the table host so they know where to walk you for your table. Okay, one other really cool thing that they've started doing on the Carnival HUB app is doing water shuttle passes. So for a lot of the more popular ports where they have to anchor and they can't kind of go right up to the dock, is that they will anchor offshore, and they will use water shuttle taxis to get you from the ship to shore. So these kind of what's called a tender port, we used to have to wait in line to do that. Some people would get there like an hour earlier just to get some of the earliest passes. Now you don't have to do that. You can use the Hub app to do that. So now if you go to open your Hub app and you scroll down to port passes, I'm actually going to do this right now. So go to port arrivals and you can see water shuttle service for Cabo San Lucas. I'm going to click on that. And then now you can pick make reservation. Again, all the people in your party you can select. So I'm going to confirm for me. And then now you can pick your time. So I'm going to pick the earliest available time. And then now I'm in group 7. So now that I make the reservation, when the cruise director will announce when your group is boarding for the water shuttles, then you can make your way down and go do that. Please just make sure and understand that that area down there can get really crowded, whether you are walking off the ship or you have to take the water shuttle. Please don't go down there until they call your group. It just makes it a lot easier. The flow works better, so you can wait, and then on the Hub app, it will tell you when your group is ready. A couple things to note about that is that if you have booked a Carnival-based excursion, you do not need to go through that process because you will already have priority tender. Same thing if you have status like Platinum or Diamond, you will get in, or Faster to the Fun or Suite Guests, you already have priority and you will find out all the details about that. Okay, the other thing that you can do with the Hub app is schedule debarkation. So I'm going to talk about it real quick. Let me know if you want me to do a video all about debarkation in that whole process. So again, you're going to go into port passes and see end of voyage debark, and you can do ship debarkation, and then you can pick how you want to debark the ship. Essentially, there are 2 main ways to do this. One is self-assist and the other is checked bags. So checked is Check luggage means that the night before your last day, you will pack up everything. You will put your bags outside. You will put some tags on it. And then that way the porters will take your bags down and you'll collect that when you leave. So that's one option. The other option is express debarkation, or that is when you carry off everything yourself. This is also called self-assist. So I'm going to do express debarkation because for me, it's faster and I like having all my stuff. I don't want to pack everything the night before. So I'm going to schedule express debarkation. Again, I'm going to select myself. You can select if someone needs assistance, and then you can pick your time of when you are going to debark. And again, just like with the water shuttle passes, you will be put into a group. So I'm in group C, and they will tell you when your group is ready to debark. So don't go down to the area yet. Hang out in the waiting areas. That's usually on deck 5, deck 4, deck 5, deck 10, kind of the Lido deck. Hang out in those areas and wait for your group to be called before heading down for debarkation. Okay, one other really good thing to know about is account summary. So if you scroll down under account summary, you can see this. Right now you can see I've got $105 in charges. So that was $5 for the chat plan. I will talk about this in a little bit. Don't worry, I'll explain that. And then also I've got $100 I had charged from the casino. I charge $100 to my cabin just so I can play in the casino. Fun tip, if you do this and you play a little bit, you can cash out. So it's kind of a nice way to get around using the ATM and getting charged those fees. Just know that your account might get flagged, so you want to be careful when doing this. Okay, so account summary. The important thing to note for this is to check that frequently, especially before you leave the ship. It is way easier for you to go to guest services and ask them because something happened and you need to have them take a charge off your account. It's way easier to do that on board versus once you leave the ship. So check that, make sure everything is good before you leave the ship. Number 5, the messaging or chat feature. Okay, so I promised that I would tell you about this, and here it is. So on the app, you are able to message each other. So this is a great feature. You do have to pay for it. It's only $5 per user, and this is for the entire duration of your sailing. And each person who wants to chat does need to pay for this. So if you are in a big group, maybe decide beforehand if you want to use the chat or if you're going to purchase internet. And I will tell you more about that later. Now, for the chat plan, again, you can go to contacts, you can add someone so that you can chat with them, and then your conversations, you can kind of click the thing, you can start a new conversation, and you can chat and talk to people. This is a great way, that's a very low cost way to keep in touch, to talk to other people, especially family members, other people in your party that you need to get in contact with. The other thing is you can also use the phone that you can call people, but hey, how often are you really in your cabin? So using the chat feature can be really handy. Now, one question I get asked a lot is, do you need the internet package? Great question. Let's talk about that next. Internet plans versus the Hub app. Okay, first of all, you do not need to purchase the internet or Wi-Fi plan to use the Carnival HUB app. You can use it for free, which is amazing. Now, remember that when you have the Carnival HUB app, that does not give you access to the internet. So if you want to browse social media, if you want to stream, if you want to listen to music, all of those, use an app, all of those things, Duolingo, those things you do need to purchase an internet plan for. I think one thing that confuses a lot of people is that people commonly call them, oh, I bought Wi-Fi. I guess it's easier if you call it an internet plan because what you're technically purchasing isn't the Wi-Fi. You can already access you can connect to the ship's Wi-Fi for free, but that does not give you internet access. What you are purchasing is the ability to access the internet from your Wi-Fi connection. Here's a hack. A lot of you have noticed that your notifications will work. This is due to the way phone operating systems work. So you will get kind of the notifications, basically whatever shows up in that little snippet you can get. You won't get the full message. You will get like a little email preview, a little text preview. Now, some people have found that especially with like iMessage, iPhones, you can text back and forth. Sometimes it works, sometimes it won't. So one hack you can do is see if that works, and then let's say you can wait for an important notification and then purchase internet to be able to use it then. Common first-timer mistakes. Here are some very common first-timer mistakes. The first one is not using the Hub app. So many people do not even know about the Hub app, what it does or how to use it. But don't worry, because you guys are watching this video, because you are subscribed to this channel, you won't have that problem. Another common mistake I've seen is not being connected to this ship's Wi-Fi. So again, you need to look onto the Wi-Fi, you need to connect to it. It'll say Carnival Wi-Fi and then the ship name. So like Carnival Wi-Fi Panorama, Carnival Wi-Fi Firenze, and make sure you are connected to that. Power tips. Here are a few power tips that even if you are a seasoned cruiser, you might not know about. The first one is this: notifications are hit and miss. When you book dining and you're waiting to be notified on when your table's ready, those notifications can be hit or miss. I've been sitting down at dinner and have my notification pop up saying my table's ready. So one way to get around this is to open your Hub app and then just kind of refresh it and see this. What I found is that oftentimes you will get the notification while the Hub app is open, but not when it's closed. Now, if the Hub app is not working, let's say you get a message, you're not able to use the chat feature, whatever it is, try closing the app and reopening it. Now, if that doesn't work, here's the kind of power user fix. And this requires uninstalling the app and then reinstalling it. So this doesn't always work, and especially if you do not have the internet package, it might be easier for you to go to guest services and they can walk you through that and make sure that you are actually able to re-download the app. Now, if you have the internet package, here's a great hack. They will try to connect to the internet using the Hub app, which you totally can. So you scroll down all the way, you go to internet packages, and it will bring you here. Now, I just skip that whole step and go to login.com because that's where it takes you. So if you go to login.com, here's how you actually access the internet. You put in your folio number, so I'm gonna put in mine, and then you're gonna put in your date of birth, and then you're gonna connect. One really cool tip is that if you want to share your internet access with your friends, your family, something like that, all you need is to know that information, and then this screen will show up where it says account already in use. Now all you do is hit switch devices, and then voila, it will switch, and then that device will now have internet access. So I do this, I switch among my laptop, my few different phones, and it's a really easy way to be able to use internet access among multiple devices without having to pay that really big charge for that. Okay, so I want to know, what are your power user tips? Let me know how you use the Hub app. Tell me your power tips, your tricks, if you have any questions, and then watch this next video here.